A new MTG product line was announced today called Universes Beyond, where we are going to have IP crossovers, and so far we know about Lord of the Rings and Warhammer 40K. There's a lot to discuss about this. Jake, are you ready?
You have my negativity.
You have my overreactions.
You have my unflinching inability to accept change.
You have my misplaced brand loyalty.
You have my toxic Twitter echo chamber.
And my Magic TCG subreddit ban.
And my fracking axe. The video starts right now.
Special thanks to our Patreon supporters who power our channel. Check out our Patreon for monthly giveaways, exclusive content, and even a starring role in our fan fight series. Link in the description below.
Hello and welcome to The Day.
Thank you for spending your time with us.
I'm Jake.
I'm Joel. Welcome back to another episode of Jake and Joel Are Magic. We've got Universes Beyond, a new product class announced by Wizards of the Coast today to jump into, dive into, head towards Mordor about.
One does not simply walk into Mordor.
But before we do, if you would, go down there, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you like the video by the end of it, and make sure you hit that notification bell because there is a lot more to parse and kind of dive into from this investor announcement today, and we've got videos coming out over the next couple of days that are going to dive into a lot of it.
Yes, Wizards of the Coast is going to be kind of like changing how they work within Hasbro, so make sure you're subscribed if you are interested in that information, and that is going to be big information. Joel, let's go ahead and talk about this article that came out today.
Yep. Tossing it over. Magic's voyages into Universes Beyond. The TLDR of this is that we're going to have a new product class that we are not going to see in Standard. Brand new article here by Wizards that we wanted to wait to read to make this video so that we had all of the information 100% accurate. We see here that we have got Lord of the Rings and Warhammer 40K coming to MTG. Now, these are not going to be standard sets. The person on the investor call that was making this announcement incorrectly said that Universes Beyond was going to start with the D&D set later this year. That is not true. The D&D set is a standard legal set. These Warhammer 40K and Lord of the Rings cards or sets are not going to be in the standard rotation and affecting any of that. Interestingly, I saw down in here that we are going to see Warhammer 40K Commander decks, for example. Will be available everywhere we currently sell Commander decks. So it's also important to note that these aren't just relegated to secret layers like Walking Dead. I think they saw a lot of the backlash with Walking Dead, but they also saw how well it sold. So they said, okay, how do we rework this so that we can get these IPs crossing over and make Magic cards out of them? Jake, there's a lot to parse from this. What are your initial reactions to having cross-branded IPs in MTG?
Well, very excited that they are not going to be taking the place of standard. That just kind of destroys the game, right? If these come in and they just take the place of a standard set, now we no longer have MTG. I think that this is Wizards of the Coast using, and Hasbro using any ability possible to expand the base of this game, to get more people interested in this game. You have the Lord of the Rings card game that, does it even exist anymore? So you have so many TCGs that kind of die out in the shadow of Pokemon and Magic and these other fandoms like Digimon and established names. And Lord of the Rings, it just kind of, it seems like, you know, hey, our card game kind of failed. This seems like a really good opportunity to get more people into the game. It just kind of is like a you scratch our back, we'll scratch your back kind of thing.
Yeah, it really makes a lot of sense to me. More eyes on the game is only a net positive. The game expanding is only a net positive. This exists in my mind for two reasons. One, to make Hasbro money. Oh, boo-hoo, you know, they are a business. They need money to make more of this game, to expand this game more, and hopefully then in turn use that money to make it bigger and make it better. That is a good thing. The other thing that this exists for in my mind is to get more eyes on the game. Walking Dead may not have been for you, but it seems like it sold way more than they were expecting. It brought in way new customers.
Didn't
and
it sell the
players
best
to MTG
out of all secret layers that year? It did, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's what they said anyway. And that, maybe Lord of the Rings isn't for you, maybe Warhammer 40K isn't for you, but the fact that they are going to handle these as ancillary products, as side partner products to MTG, and they're not going to be in standard sets, is a big deal, and I think a very positive. Jake, I actually am in the camp of, I don't think it would have been bad to have a standalone standard set, or a standard set, that includes Lord of the Rings, that includes even Warhammer 40K. I think with 40K, you gotta kind of handle it weird, because it is weird if a commander walks onto the battlefield with a big machine gun.
It's going to be cool to see that on MTG cards, but I do have to disagree with you a little bit. That is just, I think it's fine for this stuff to exist in Commander. Commander's kind of becoming this hodgepodge of like everything. We've seen tokens before these crossovers. We've seen altars and proxies of all sorts of different characters, everything under the sun, just by a multitude of artists, whether or not they're MTG artists or independent artists. This is nothing new as far as like where people have wanted to take the expansion of the game. And
100%.
Until recently, this is all, sanctioned by Wizards of the Coast. And I think that big change is what people are so adamant about resisting. And I do get it. And I do think that there needs to be limits to it. So I'm fine with these cards existing in certain eternal formats such as Commander. But when it becomes the entire focus of a standard set, I think that's kind of where, like, you have so many people that are fans of this game that are just like, all right, that is a little too far now.
I completely agree with you. My initial reaction to is this good or bad when I only had half of the information and not all of the information with this article is that I don't want the MTG lore and IP and all of that to get pushed to the side. If they're going to go with like a 50-50 balance on it and make some standard sets, like once a year standard set is Lord of the Rings, is Warhammer 40K, then you know what, fine. We'll just trust you to keep stewarding your game in the direction that you want to take it. But since this is a side product, this is an ancillary product. I mean, nobody complained about the Plane Chase box that had the Plane Chase deck and all the decks in it. Okay, Middle Earth box. This has got a Gandalf deck, an Aragorn deck, Sauron deck, whatever. And it exists as a standalone game, but then you can take the cards and bring them into Commander, and then Commander becomes the thing, right? I think it's very clear at this point. Commander is the cash cow. That is what they're focused on to make their money. Keep the game going. Keep Standard being a thing. Keep making these secret layers. Keep all this going, but focus secret layers. Focus ancillary products. Focus these things on Commander product.
It just really does seem like, we're just reskinning MTGs to include more characters from different fandoms to, again, grow that base. But then, mechanically, the cards work the same as MTG cards. You're still going to be able to Doomblade Gandalf or something. I'm sure that that's going to be a thing. And so, I think that until it really does just completely fall off, we need to just kind of, see where this goes.
MTG is a multiverse, okay? We've known that for as long as the game has existed. It is a multiverse. You can have multiple dimensions within that multiverse. That's how a multiverse works in theory. So the fact that we are expanding outside of what exists in canon in our Magic the Gathering multiverse, I think is a good thing. More eyes equals more money, equals bigger and better game, equals more development on MTG Arena, equals more development on bringing MTGO into MTG Arena skin. This is what I'm talking about. Hopefully the money trickles down and everything gets better. But now we want to know what you think. Okay, this is just our opinions and takes on this, and you can tell we already kind of disagree on some of this. Go down in the comments. Let me know what you think about this. We've got some more videos coming on this. Big news. Biggest news, I think, that nobody's really talking about with this entire announcement today is that Hasbro is reorganizing and Wizards of the Coast is no longer, it seems, going to be a separate entity that can make their own decisions with just some Hasbro oversight. It seems like now Wizards of the Coast is going to be a Hasbro entity, and Daddy Hasbro is going to get to make the decisions.
What does that mean for cards like Gaia's Cradle? Stuff on the reserve list. Make sure you're subscribed, because we're going to talk about it, because it is on our minds. It is definitely something that we are going to be discussing with the Discord, and you're going to want to be here for it.
Other than that, I am tapped out. We'll see you when the giant eagles save us at the end of the 3 movies.
That's right, and they could have just tossed it right in the top of a volcano.